Welcome to the Marlene Saunders Show, where we have real talk, real conversations, and you're welcome to it. If it's your first time here, hit that subscribe button, like, share this out, and welcome to the Blah 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 podcast. So, welcome to the show, everybody. Thank you all so much for being here and supporting this channel. And you can support this channel by a like, watching a video in full, sharing this out, and supporting the creator by tipping the host via Cash App or Chime. All the information is on my homepage. And thank you so much. And welcome to everyone to today's Thursday topic. And today's topic is about, what most should be doing already, but it's very important to say this to all those who are parents, grandparents, taking care of children. It's very important for us to understand how important it is to talk to your children, your grandchildren, your nieces, your nephews, whoever these children are that you are, in charge to take care of. Children are innocent. They don't know about many things, but it's up to us for us to protect them, for us to be compassionate and to listen to them for whatever it is that they personally need. And these children, they need us. They need us to learn things. They need our teaching. They need our nurturing. It's so important to do this for your children. It's so important to be that person in a child's life. Training starts at home. Schooling starts way before children go to school or deal with other people. As parents, caregivers, and just loved ones to children, we have to be that representative to them. We have to be the ones to protect them and try our best to understand them. And we hear this all the time. Parents always talk about listen to me, and those of you who are people of faith, honor your parents, right? Yes, all of that is important, but also not just giving out discipline, but give your children love, give your children patience, compassion. And it's something that gets missing because once we become parents, right? Once you become a parent, it's different than when you were parented. Our styles of training up a child will be different from your parents, whether it was good, bad, or ugly. We always try to do better than the previous, right? We try to be better than our own parents. Always try to improve and to learn. And part of that development in our children, it's so important to um, be understanding of them. Just because of the way you are raised does not mean that things are still that way. So have conversations with them, talk to them. Hey, Sunshine Films, how are you doing? Welcome. Happy Thursday to you. Appreciate you being here. If you could hit the like, I'd really appreciate it. I hope all is well with you. Um, and that's something that I had to learn for myself. I had to learn how to be a more compassionate parent. learning how to be understanding of them. And when I was younger, way back when, it seems like the dark ages of the caveman days, but, way back when, parents never used to listen to their children. It was only to give out orders, to tell them what to do. So while, yes, it's important to discipline your children, but it can't be all discipline. You have to include in that some fun, some joy, some compassion, some celebration. It can't be all rules for children. Hey, writers, how are you doing? Welcome in. Blessings to the chat. Thank you so much. Blessings to you too. I grew up in that. I grew up in a very disciplined home of faith. And yes, that's important to teach children about values and all of those things, but it can't just be rules. Teach your children that yes, there's a time to have fun and to laugh and to jump up and down, but there's also a time to be clean and efficient and learn something. But also give your kids hugs and kisses and tell your children you love them and you're here for them and they can talk to you about anything. um, that's one thing that completely went past me in my upbringing. I didn't receive those hugs and kisses and that affirmation. Speak over your children's life. Tell them that they're a phenomenal person, you're a phenomenal human being, you can do anything that you want, I'm here to support you, but you have to put in the work. As long as you do what you're supposed to, you can do whatever you want. And a lot of times, parents, they will try to force their children to be like they are or to live out their dreams within their children. You have to let children be their own individual person. They may not want to do things like you want to do it, but should they be disciplined for having an open mind, for wanting something different, especially if they want better than you have? I was definitely disciplined because I didn't want to stay into the bounds of, the traditional family and all of those things. I wanted to be that child that did something different, did something different, did something new. I was not a person who was going to sit down and wait for somebody to make it happen. I was not the traditional wait to get married, to do this and that. I wanted to have my own life. I wanted to travel, have some fun, get my education. And I did those things. And I'm happy that I did those things while I was young because I got to live and have my fun before I became the mother that I am today. But everybody doesn't have the same circumstance. And I said all of that to say, let your children live their life. They don't, what did he call it? Don't helicopter parent them. Let them still have the freedom to be a child, but of course, teach them to be respectful, but don't be demanding of children. You know, that's something that I feel is so weird and strange. When you were a child, um, maybe if you grew up in that hostile environment where it was just all rules and no fun, you don't want to bring harm and pain and aggravation to a child. I always wanted to I said, man, when I become a mom, I'm going to be a cool mom. Now you can't say that. Um, my son would cringe at hearing cool mom. You just don't say that anymore. But if you are doing your best to be a parent, remember that it can't just be all rules. You have to let children have fun and be silly, but also to have fun too. Let them go out and play and run and skip and jump up and down. Give them freedom to be a child. But at the same time, talk to them about the things that you didn't learn growing up. I have those real conversations and I say, when I was growing up, we didn't talk about certain things, but I want you to feel that if anything is going on, anything, if anybody ever does anything to you, makes you feel uncomfortable, I want you to tell me, even if they tell you not to tell me, even if they say, oh, I'm going to hurt you if you if you tell your mom or you tell your anybody else, that there's certain things that you shouldn't keep secrets about. We have to have that sort of openness in parenting. And I think that back in the day, that was just not available. They just didn't do those things. It was only rules. It was rules. You did what I said, and there was no back talk. There was no confirmation. And I can't say for everybody, but for myself, that it just wasn't important, your feelings. They didn't care about how you felt. And that is not a good thing, because you raise a child to grow up to not caring about other people, not respecting other people, not being a respectful individual, because you take your childhood through your whole life. And if you grew up with only rules, no consideration for anybody else, you teach a child that it's okay to be selfish. It's okay to be me centered, and it's not. And I grew up in that environment that it's just about you, take care of yourself. And yes, while it's important to be an important member of society, that's important, but you don't want to raise a child that it's all about them. Teach them how to share, how to be a good person, how to be an honest individual, to work hard, but also that they can have their own business, they can do whatever it is that they want to do. Give them that sort of openness. And I feel that I'm grateful to be in that space, that I know what it's like to not have those things. And I look at my son now and I say, wow, you have so much more than I have. You have opportunities, you can have conversations, you can hang out with friends, you can just live life. But at the same time, I'm protective. I talk to him about dangers, not just assuming that they know, or not just saying, no, don't go on the computer. I tell them, not everybody on the computer is who you think they are, buddy. Okay. I want you to know that. And if somebody is trying to tell you to meet up with them, or, talk about personal information, and explain to them, what is personal information? Where do you live? What's your address? You know, Never send pictures of yourself to somebody that you don't know. Never try to meet up with somebody that you don't know, even if you think it's another child your age. We have to inform children of dangers. We can't just think that they understand. And I grew up in that environment, not really understanding why it's no, but if you didn't follow the rules, you were going to get a backhand. That's all I knew. Hey, Sirius, how are you doing? Welcome. Appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. Hey, James, how are you? Welcome in. Happy Thursday to everybody. If you could please hit the like, I'd really appreciate it. So that's the environment that I grew up in. It was rules, rules, and more rules. And you had to be obedient, and you had to be clean. And it was like you had to just sit down and be like a little doll. Well, I did. Girls were like, you sit down and you're pretty, and you take care of home and all of those things. Just that, for me personally, I believe that doesn't work. Especially if you are trying to be in a relationship and things are different from way back in the day, like when my parents were growing up. I feel like those type of men and women just don't exist anymore. The men and women that are like loyal to one another, right? And will be in a relationship with you and not cheat on you. But that's another topic for another day. But I grew up in that environment that, you know, kind of enabled to disable me. I grew up in the environment not knowing how to do a lot of things, because my mother thought that was her role, to do everything for her children. And that was not good, because it handicapped me. When I became an adult, I didn't know how to be an adult. Oh, that's awesome, Sirius. I'm doing great myself. Thank you so much. And I know that a lot of times parents, grandparents, mothers, fathers, aunts, uncles, whoever's raising children, you feel that you're doing your best by doing things for them, or you just get frustrated because you don't want to be patient and wait for them to do things. But you have to not only tell them to do things, but guide them how to be able to cook and to clean, to manage money, to know how to be responsible, to be a good person, be a good human being, and all of those things that I wish I had grew up in that environment. But I'm grateful that I went through that, because now I appreciate, communication. It's important to talk to children on all levels about what's going on in their world. How's school? How is your teacher? Are you being bullied? And it's a different age now of social media for younger children. They're under so much pressure, and they can be cyber bullied, for the clothes they wear, for all type of different things that, if you didn't grow up in that generation, you can't understand the struggle of a child, because you're not a child at the moment. So you have to talk to them and ask them, like, how's things really going? How are things in school? Is anybody bothering you? How does your teacher talk to you? Are you getting the help and support that you need? Is there something more that I could do to help you? Hey, Monique, how are you doing? Welcome. Thank you so much, Sirius. And that's one of the things that I definitely, I didn't grow up in that environment, but, it's called paying it forward. The next generation is supposed to be better than the previous. I didn't grow up having the conversations like, how are you doing? How's everything in school? How is your teacher? Do you need some help from me? Is there something that I can do better? How can I be a better mom for you? I try to be that sort of mother. I try to be that sort of aunt, because I do believe that aunts and uncles and grandparents are raising children now. It's not just the parents. I believe that it's a collective group that trains children to be who they are. And I want to make sure that in my my time period of being a mother, in the formative years, before they got to be 18, that they knew that they could always speak up, they could always advocate for themselves, that I was always going to be there to protect them, and that even if they did the wrong thing, they could still come to me and to say, this is what I did, and I wasn't going to come out of a bag on them. And that's something that I did not have when I was younger. If you did something wrong, not only were you going to get slapped and hit and berated, they were going to put you down, they were going to tell you how stupid you are. And then they were going to tell everybody your business. So you were going to be embarrassed and all of those things. So I try to be a different sort of parent. I try to be the parent um, that will give them the benefit of the doubt, that will look at them, that it's not just your child. They're a human being. They have feelings. They make a mistake. They just don't understand everything, and be on their level and listen to them. I think that that's so important for, parents these days, aunts, uncles. Remember how it was when you were a child, you know? Remember how it was when you were a child. Remember how you felt. Were you bullied? Do you advocate for your child? Is anybody bothering you? And if they are, who are they? Do you feel uncomfortable? How is school? Are you struggling with your work, or are you good? Hey, Nate, how are you doing? Welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it. But, one thing that I always say is that people need to bring parenting back. There's a lot of people who are parents that don't need to be parents. And I'm sorry if that steps on anybody's toes or makes somebody feel some type of way, but a lot of people are letting tablets and telephones raise their kids, or they just sit them in front of the TV all day long. That's not parenting. And I understand that, life is hard, things are expensive, and you have to go to work. But you can't just ignore your child and then one day expect for your child to respect you and want to take care of you in the future. To be a parent, it means you have to do some parenting, you know, roll up on them. Okay, you go into your friend's house, make sure they're really there, and have those tough conversations like, what's going on with you and so and so? You got a girl, you got a boy, like, what's going on with that? You have to have conversations about all type of things because things are different, and there's all sorts of different things that kids get into now. It's not just, oh, warn kids about drinking and smoking. It's like, okay, do you feel like unaliving yourself? Do you feel depressed? You got to ask them. You got to have those sort of conversations. And I know that it's not the easiest thing. It's not the easiest thing as a parent to say. Do you feel depressed? Do you have some issues sometimes? Are you struggling to cope with your life? Do you feel alone and lonely? Is there some support that you need? Do you need some help with your learning? I know growing up in that environment that it was like you have to make good grades, but they never reinforced or gave you the support to help you to make those good grades. um, maybe your child is does want to get those better grades, but maybe they have a learning disability. Have you tested them? Maybe they may have ADHD or something that you don't know of. A lot of times we tend to think, oh, it's nothing wrong with my child, it's something wrong with the teacher. The teacher is not teaching them. But have you tested them? Have you checked their vision? Maybe they can't see in school, they may need glasses. It's a lot of things that you can't just wait for your child to come to you. That's a part of being a parent. You have to foresee, okay, they're not getting good grades, and you're like, what's going on? Can you see? Do you need some glasses? Do you need some tutoring? Or what is it? Are you trying to be cool in school and be the funny person so that you can get everybody to think that you're the class clown because that's popular? That's how you're trying to impress the other kids in class. So you have to get to it and really have the conversations of what is really going on with your children. We can't expect others to do that for us. I'm doing awesome, Nate. How are you doing? That's one of the things that I never have understood, that parents expect that for their children to be so close, and all they ever do is tell them when they mess up, you mess up, or they put them down all the time. You're always messing up. But what about the times that they're not? What about all the times when they're being a good child? They're keeping their room clean. They're getting good grades. Are you talking to them? Do you reward their good behavior? Do you tell them, I'm proud of you? You're doing a great job. You're a good kid. And I love you. Saying those words, I love you, are so important. And I know for many parents, it's hard for me too. It's so hard to open up your mouth and to say, I love you to your son and your daughter. It doesn't matter. People always say, oh, that's soft. You shouldn't. Don't make a boy soft. Don't make a boy weak. No, boys need those hugs and those kisses. It should be a safe space at home. If they want to cry, let that child cry. Have communication with them and let them know, don't shut down. If you're feeling some type of way, let it out. How are you feeling, son? And your daughter too. How are you feeling? But also in a balance. Don't let it be like all the time you're going to cry to get out of situations. Yes, you can have your emotions, but also you got to use your brain. Just because you feel sad or upset, you can't yell and have a tantrum. All of those things is part of parenting. You have to parent as well as sometimes be their friend. You have to take on different roles as a parent or a guardian. You have to take on those roles and do the hard work. Sometimes your kid needs more help than you can give, and that's when you get them a tutor, a therapist. They may be having some issues. Maybe they need some medicine. Maybe they need some eyeglasses. Who knows? But if you're not there, if you're not watching, if you're not talking to them, if you don't allow them to have their friends over and you're like in the other room listening, like, really, what's going on? You really won't know what's going on. Hey, Michelle, how are you doing? Good morning. Happy Thursday to you. I hope all is well with you. Because if you don't talk to your children, if you don't listen to them, they're not going to listen to you. I went through that, on the other side when I was being parented. I didn't grow up in that environment. If you only are, always pointing your finger and say, you don't do this right, you don't do this right, and you're messing up. If all they ever hear is negatives, they're going to shut down. They're not going to have closeness with you, and they're going to bring that into the real world, into school, and it's going to affect their other relationships. You can't just tell your children when they're messing up. You also have to empower them. If you feel some type of way, how can I help you to speak up? Don't be bullied. Learn to say, that makes me feel uncomfortable, or I don't like that. Don't talk to me like that. Teach your children about self-esteem, loving themselves for how they are, however their hair is, whatever their skin color is. That's the job of a parent. That's a job of a parent to do that. Good morning, Miss Tamika. How are you doing? Happy Thursday. That's the job of a parent. That's not anybody else's job to tell that child that they're beautiful, that they're intelligent, they're capable, and hug your children. Hug them and kiss them. Confirm that you love them. A lot of times I can say that from being on the other side of that, never getting that affection and love. I grew up that way. So I make sure, for sure, that my son knows mom loves you. You're important. You're special. You don't need to go and search for that love from another person. You have love at home. I have a loving environment. I can have conversations. I can talk about anything that I want. I always say that nothing is off the table. Yeah, it may make me feel uncomfortable or weird, or I may be surprised. I may not understand, but the things that are important to your child should be important to you. And that's how I know that I have elevated and I have matured since the last generation. You can't just, I'm not saying, oh, be your child's friend and make them do everything that they want. No, I just mean you have to have some openness. You have to have communication. You have to actually talk to them and listen. What's going on with you? And when they tell you something you don't like, don't scream and yell at them. That's where they are in their life. That's what, that's how they want to be. We can't control children. They're not robots. Let them have freedom to be themselves. Let them have their own individuality and be able to express that to you. And a lot of parents do not allow their children to be their own individuals. They want to be them to be many versions of themselves. You have to talk how I want you to talk, look how I want you to look, do the career because that's what I wanted to do. Let your children have some freedom, get into sports, get into whatever it is that they like. Um, get them into after school programs, teach them about, communication, don't just, shut them away from society. A lot of children are lacking these days in social skills because all they're doing is being on their phone, texting, or all they'll be on is their tablets or computers. They have headphones on, they're on their phone. The internet has become their whole world. And as parents, you have to give them their time to have screen time because that's just how life is. We live in a digital age. Let them have that time, but also it's time to turn that off. And now it's family time, and let's have some fun and play some games. Go outside, run up and down, be a child. Let children be a child because society has taught our kids to grow up so fast. And okay, you're going to get to be 18. And when you get to be 18, you'll be 18. But right now, you're going to be a child. You're going to be respectful, but you also are going to have fun, hang out with your friends, do those things. Let your children have a normal life, but also under supervision, also with love and compassion. And in the meantime, teach them certain things, how to have life skills, how to be clean, how to know how to clean and fold their clothes and put it away. Teach them how to be responsible, neat, efficient, help them to communicate. But also one of the most important things is to train a child to have love first for themselves. And I speak from a place of love when I say that. Many of us didn't get raised up in that environment with love. Um, I'm not saying that I didn't grow up in love at all, that my parents didn't love me, but I didn't get the expressive hugs and kisses all the time that I'm definitely my love language is touch. So not having that the majority of my life, from time to time, I would get a hug or a kiss when they would feel like it. But I mean, all the time when children go to bed, you should, while they've come down, is there anything you want to talk about? And let them express themselves. As parents, sometimes we just are so busy. Okay, okay, they ate something, they did their homework. Okay, go to bed. But are they okay? Are they anxious about tomorrow? Are they facing some challenge that we don't know about? You have to have that openness with your children, because you wouldn't know. Maybe the reason why they're getting those bad grades in school is because they're being bullied because they're smart. Let them know it's okay to be different from other children. You don't have to be like anybody else. Be yourself. If you're a very intelligent person, be proud of that. I'm proud of you for being intelligent. I'm proud of you for being yourself, and who you are is beautiful. Everybody is not going to like you, and that's okay. As a parent, as a mother, a father, a grandparent, aunt, and uncle, whoever is raising the child, you need to give a child confidence. Be confident that no matter what you do, you're capable enough. You can do great things. You have to speak life over your children. If you don't, this world will chew them up and spit them out. In school, in the workplace, college, anywhere that they go, they are going to be able to either thrive or to be stuck in their life. Never let them go out trying to find love, trying to find a friendship. They should have that at home. I come from a loving environment at home, so they know how to be loving. They also know you're not going to run over me. You're not going to talk to me any sort of way. Of course, with respect. With respect, you can put people in their place. Like my mom used to always tell me, put people in their place. You can say in a nice, nasty way. I'm going to speak up. I'm going to protect myself. Teach them that. Teach them those values. But if they don't have that, they will spend their whole life being used by other people. Don't let don't teach your children to be a yes girl or a yes boy. Speak up for yourself with respect. Respect for themselves has to start at home, and we have to raise children that are good communicators, that know what they want, that believe in themselves, that they know that they can do anything that they want, but they're also at the same time they're intelligent. They know their talents, they know their gifts, but that's the job of a parent to instill that into a child. It's our job as parents. To all the parents, it's your job to parent. It's not a teacher's job. It's not the workplace job. It's not anybody else's job. That has to start at home by the mother, the father, the grandparents, aunts, uncles, or whoever is the guardian. Let's get back to parenting with love, understanding. Teach your children, train them, but also love them. Let them know, I love you. Those three words, hearing that as a child growing up, will change their world, because they know they're loved. Then they're going to excel. They're going to do well in their life. They're going to know how to also be loving to others. So let's not harm our child, even if maybe our adulthood wasn't the best. I know for me, my childhood wasn't the best, but I made sure for me, because now I'm grown, I'm fully grown and mature. Don't scar your children because you were scarred. Elevate, do better, know better. And if you don't know better, learn, read a book, go on the internet, go on Google, you know, get some therapy, be a better parent. Don't be demanding and take out your frustrations and your stresses on your children. No, 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 no. Yes, James. Today's world time is flying by so fast because of the fast pace. Slow down and spend time with your children because in a blink of an eye, they are grown and you are wondering where time went. Exactly, James. Time goes by fast. So whether you want to, do whatever you want, but then remember the reality of that, when real life hits you, because now they're children, but one day they will be adults. And then you will be in the position to need them. You better hope that you put some love into them, that you encourage them, that you are understanding, that you help them to be good members of society. you know, that you didn't handicap them by not teaching them, not training them, not talking to them and informing them of dangers. I say all of those things. I say all of that to my son. When you go out there and you do certain things, there is consequences. So if you're disobedient, then other people will enforce it, whether it will be the teachers or it will be law enforcement. And I talk to your children. I don't want to see you lost to the system, trying to be cool, trying to hang out with other people. You don't have to follow the crowd. Be a leader and say, "No, I don't want to take any drugs. I don't want to smoke. I don't want to drink. I don't want to do wild and crazy things because things can happen to me." Yeah, and tell them too that you may be made fun of. They will make fun of you and say, "Oh, teacher's pet or mama's boy." Say that's okay. Say because this mama's boy is going to have a good job. I inform him of that. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to stand up and to be different. Okay, put that inside of their head. That yeah, right now with your peers, you feel some type of way, and it's normal to want to make friends with people, but not at the cost of losing yourself. I tell them all the time, be proud of the person that you are. Always be proud that I held up my hand, I held up my head, and I did my best. That's all I ever ask for him. You do your best, not what other people want. Don't follow the crowd. Stand out, be different. Achieve, go to school, learn, get a good job, you know do your best. I always say I don't want you to do as good as I did. I want you to do better. I want you to do better than I did. hmm all of those things. So thank you all so much for tuning into today's podcast. I really do appreciate every single one of you. And yeah, talk to your children, listen to your children, protect your children. But all of that comes from parenting. Let's go back to parenting children, teaching them, so that when they get older, they know how to function in society. We don't want the deadbeats. There's enough people incarcerated. Teach your children, do the right thing. And if you do the right thing, you don't have to worry about the consequences of being incarcerated. I don't want that for you. I want better for you. You know, so you go and you do the best that you can. Okay. And if something is stopping you from being your best, tell me. How can I support and help you? That's parenting. We may not always know what is the best to do for our children, but if you don't know how, you don't know, you don't understand, it doesn't make sense to you. It doesn't mean, okay, I don't know how to, or I don't like that, or I don't understand it, or that's weird. No, you better know about all of these technology and apps and find out what your children are doing online and who are their friends and how your children are being treated. Yeah, that's your job as a parent. Roll up on those teachers, like what's going on, so you can see for yourself. Don't just hear what they're saying, see it with your own eyes. Be there when they have those PTA meetings, those parent teacher meetings. Be there. Have appointments outside of that. Talk to your teacher about what your children's needs are and how they need more in this or that area. That's parenting. And make sure your children are doing their homework. And if you see something is off and they need some support, don't make fun of them. Support them. Listen to them so that they can be their best. Yes. Shout out to Sirius for dropping the links of channels. You all feel free to connect with all of those channels. Yes, I'm all about supporting all of these amazing content creators and to all you parents, to all you caregivers and supporters of our children. The children are the future, but their future will not be as bright as if we don't listen to them, if we don't teach them, if we don't parent them, discipline them, and show them all the love that they deserve. Thank you for tuning in to the Marlene Saunders Show, where we have real talk, real conversations, and you're welcome to it. If it's your first time here, hit that subscribe, like, share this out on your social media sites. Subscribe to this channel, and I will see you all maybe tomorrow. I'm not sure. I do some Fridays, so and keep your bell on. I may pop up and do a pop up live stream tomorrow on Friday, but I know that it is Good Friday, so I'm not really sure, but maybe I may pop on for maybe 5 or 10 minutes. We'll see. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. Have a great Thursday. And yeah, to all you parents, I know that it's not an easy thing to be a parent, but it's well worth it because you are going to be training better members of society, and your children will love you for it. Thank you for tuning in. If you have not hit the like on the way in, please hit the like on the way out. And I will see you guys on the next Marlene Saunders Show. Bye bye, everyone.